Let the truth be told.
Y'all just gonna have to get used to that sound because that's the sound, you know what I'm saying, that's ringing all over, you know what I'm saying. We are dealing with, you know what I'm saying, World War III that's on the rise, that has officially started. And you are here at Let the Truth Be Told podcast, you know what I'm saying. I'm Zam here, you know what I'm saying, with my elder Shemaiah, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate everybody that's here on the chat. All praise to the Most High and Him only. But how you feeling, Elder? How you feeling?
Well, personally, I'm feeling good. I'm experiencing life with peace and balance. As we look at all this turmoil, we got to keep peace and balance in every walk of our life, because if we let what's going on in the world deter our inner being, then we all can discombobulate it. We know that this earth is slated for certain things, certain judgments, and we watching it unfold as we look at the news today.
All praise to the Most High. We got a lot jam-packed for you guys today, right? So what we're going to do, so that you guys know how we're going to do this, is that we're going to watch all these videos, get all the information. We're going to give our thoughts and opinions as far as between me and Elder. And then at the end, we're going to go through and address some of your guys' opinions as far as what you put in the chat. So I'm encouraging you guys to drop your opinions in the chat, to get active in the chat, because again, I went live last night, but hey, and Let the Truth Be Told podcast, I was excited, you know what I'm saying, to get with the elder and to talk about this, because a lot more has happened, guys, since last night, and it's just going to keep piling up. So shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to say shalom to GOZ, you know what I'm saying, until we free, you understand. Shout out to my affiliation, all praise to the Most High. Right, love my brothers, all praise to the Most High. It's good to see you up on here. Julian Vibes, it's always a good vibe when you're in the building. Had a great conversation with him last night, Elder, all praise to the Most High.
Okay.
You understand? But it's good to see, you know what I'm saying, y'all in the chat. I got my aunties in the chat. Of course, Earth Healing Angel, my auntie, is in the chat. All praise to the Most High. Right, everybody's here to see Elder, you know what I'm saying? I'm loving it, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm here for. They waiting to see what you got to say, Elder. Shout out to my other auntie, you know what I'm saying? Avia Barak, all praise to the Most High.
Okay.
Right, and everybody else that's in the chat, man, we're going to go ahead and just get right into this. So as you see, attack on Iran, of course, this is going to continue to be the biggest news. How long do you think, Elder?
It's gonna be going on for a while. You know, it's deeper than what the face value shows in the media. We got to remember that our news is scripted. Syndicated news is scripted, even down to when they're showing different Iranians over in the United States celebrating because of the attack. Don't believe what you see on the TV when you see that.
Exactly.
Trust me.
Exactly. That's facts. So let's check this out.
President Trump is now saying that Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is in fact dead. Iranian officials are still saying that is not true, even as celebrations appear to be breaking out across Iran. The question now isn't just whether the existing Iranian regime will indeed collapse, but what are the real consequences to the United States? Some warning this could unleash renewed acts of terror against Americans here and abroad. American and Israeli airstrikes hit all across Iran this Saturday on what is the beginning of the work week there. Plumes of smoke rising from the ground across the capital of Tehran, including from the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's compound. President Trump calling the incursion a noble mission.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
The bombing.
Now, real quick, we got to pause that real quick on what Trump said right there. Let's rewind this back, y'all. Right. I was talking about this last night, Elder. This is key. I want your thoughts on this, Elder. Right. And then I'm going to give you my opinions.
Okay.
Right. And then, Chad, I want y'all to drop your opinions. What do you think is a deeper message in what Trump is saying right here? Let's listen.
A noble mission.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
The bomb.
What do you think about that, Elder?
You know,
just let the truth be told. Talk about it.
you know,
Yeah, because I'm
Trump,
gonna let you know what I think he's saying. Go ahead though.
you know, he's telling the people it's yours to take. He's telling the Iranians it's yours to take. Now, let's unpack that a little
But
bit.
but he also said real quick, Elder, before he said that when we're done.
Right, when we're done, that means destruction is first. That's what that means.
Exactly.
Destruction is first. So they not
Right.
it's not nowhere near done.
Right.
But when you unpack, it's yours to take. Um, that's an oxymoron because the last I checked, it was already the Iranians' government.
Mm.
So how is it now theirs to take? And they're painting the image as though that painting the government of the Iran in a bad light based upon westernized geopolitical jargon. Here's what I mean by that. If you go all the way back, so this particular Ayatollah they assassinated, got took out by a bomb or whatever the case may be. But there was the Ayatollah Khomeini. I remember when he was in office prior to over 30 years ago. I forgot how he passed away. But we have to remember that the Middle East has been under attack for over 40 years. And they systematically picked apart each Middle Eastern, Arabic, or Chaldean nation over there. Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, all of these different forms of government over there, they picked each one apart. Afghanistan, all of them, even including Libya, in top of Al-Qaeda line. They stabilized all the Chaldean and Arabic speaking nations systematically one by one. To now, there is no fear if an Arab nation comes out and says Islamic Jihad because they're picked apart. And the United States has infused its military bases throughout the Middle East. They got more military bases over there than anywhere.
That's true.
I remember when I was in the army, they was building base upon base upon base over there. In Saudi Arabia, same thing. They picked apart each government over there. If you go back and you check your history, they systematically did that. They didn't do it all at one time because they know as a whole, the Chaldean and Arabic nations, they live by a creed that, hey, look, we might have some enemies amongst each other, but if you attack us from a foreign position, we're going to join with our brothers and cousins and we're going to go against you. That's the kind of mentality that they had. But over the years, they've been systematically disemboweled. But the westernized mindset in this present day and time believe that they have overcame something, but they're forgetting the position of Russia and China. Also, we're going to talk more about that. I'm going to let that stay right there.
Because I'm glad you brought that up because, right now, Russia's just in the back burner right now where they were kind of the headliner news as far as because of what was going on between Russia and Ukraine for, I want to say, the last few years. And so now that, it's turning up now, with Iran, one thing I have noticed, Elder, is that, nobody's talking about Russia, right? Nobody's even really talking about China. So, but I'm with you, though. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. But let's continue.
Were celebrated by many in Chicago's Iranian community.
This war did not start now. This war started 47 years ago. What President Trump is doing is ending the war.
Dozens gathering in Daley Plaza this afternoon.
Okay, but when she says that President Trump is ending the war, I mean, what war are we talking about? You understand? What do you think?
That's what I'm saying. They're painting a narrative.
Right.
Anytime they put somebody on camera, that's already talked about, elaborated upon, especially in situations and conversations such as this. What war are you speaking of? With the war that she's really speaking, the only war that exists is the geopolitical, financial, oil war that's going on financially about the petrodollar. That's the only war that's going on. It's not like it's a war, where the Arabic nations are at turmoil with each other. They create that scenario. And over here in the media, they paint a certain picture to us, and they use other people of that particular persuasion to state the opinion of the United States or what they want you to say, just like they use our people. They put our people on camera to say certain things that continue to perpetuate the agenda of the powers that be.
No, that answers my question. Because I was also thinking too, Elder, like on another level, a lot of stuff is not pushed on our algorithms. A lot of stuff is not put, on the airwaves over here in America, as far as on the TV and, the media and things of that nature, when it comes to maybe some of the problems that are happening in other countries within like the inner cities, as far as like, the government that's running it, because we see that they killed the leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Iranian leader. Could it be possible that maybe, he was governing the way he was governing Iran, according to the regular people that, or the civilians, not civilians, but, just regular civil people that's just living in Iran, that maybe he was governing them, in a wicked fashion?
Well, I look at it like this.
And I asked that to say that could that be a possible reason why, as far as what this lady was alluding to, as far as that question?
On a, how can I say, on one sense, that's a possibility, but highly unlikely. Why do I say highly unlikely? Because if you know the Chaldean and Arabic people, they are pro there where they're from, and they're pro solving their own problems. They're definitely not pro westernized influence to come over there to solve their problems. So that's why I have a hard time relating to what she said as being a truth about what's going on over there, because they solve their own problems. They deal with their own situation.
Facts.
If it was an issue with somebody, they've taken out people before. Why would they be praising the United States on that? Money go a long way. If they're over here, money and power go a long way. It's easy to get somebody to say something all the time. Unfortunately, we see our people do it every day.
Yeah, that's true. Let's continue.
Community leaders making it clear they do not want U.S. boots on the ground either, and hope, as President Trump has called for, the Iranians will finish the job themselves.
That's what we're hoping for again, that Iranian people will be able to come back to the street and take over the government.
But will they? University of Chicago professor Robert Pape.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Two things. And I saw somebody say something in the chat, and they're so correct. How can Iman Haddour says, how can the only country to ever use a nuclear weapon on a people tell another country they can't have the same type of power? That's the irony. Now, Trump is saying he doesn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. First of all, who made you over what this other country does? Can you definitely not gonna push China or Russia or Korea in that position. You can try it if you want to, and we'll have an all-out war, but they do it where they have a stronghold. They don't want them to have weapons of mass destruction, but we got the second most weapons of mass destruction besides China on the planet.
Facts.
So you're saying now we're the responsible ones when you go and you kidnap another president, Venezuela, and hold them in court in U.S. law when they never set foot in the United States to commit a crime. But all of a sudden, we're right and they're wrong.
And you think that a lot of this too, as far as, the United States, and they've done this in the past, I feel like as well, Elder, they paint these false narratives on other countries whenever they're lacking or they're beefing with another country that has a major supply of resource as far as for America. And then they end up falling out with that resource, they lose that resource, and so then they go and paint a negative narrative on a negative false narrative on another country that has those resources that they weren't dealing with, but now because they lost their older resource, they got to get a new one. But instead of trying to deal with them, they just rather try to do that and attack them just to take over, right? Do you think that, you know what I'm saying, that has something in play?
Absolutely. And even beyond that, what's the motivation behind that? The motivation behind it, the fact is that the US dollar is done. They have to do everything they can to get they're trying to create a way of getting more oil in the hands of the government over here because the money is done. You know,
I'm sorry, this comment.
I see that Earth Hill and Angel, let them try that with Kim Jong in North Korea.
It's over with.
It's
He
done.
don't play no
Hey,
games.
look, after you say that, he's hitting the button.
Hit the button. I'm sorry. That was funny. But let's check something else out, Elder, real quick. You know what I'm saying? If you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you had sent me something else. I want to look at this right here. Let's look at this.
Or threat of force in international relations.
新型军兵种结构布局完善。
China just told the world whose side it is on. On Thursday, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning was asked directly whether Beijing would join Russia in supporting Iran if the United States attacks. She did not say yes, but her answer left little room for doubt. China supports the Iranian government and people in upholding their nation's stability and legitimate rights and interests, Mao said. We firmly oppose the use or threat of force in international relations. The statement landed the same day Iranian and American delegations sat down in Geneva for the third round of nuclear talks. And the same week, a Chinese satellite firm described by some analysts as military-linked released imagery that appears to show U.S. stealth fighters positioned at an Israeli base. The question came from Iran's state broadcaster IREB, and Mao's answer followed Beijing's standard diplomatic formula. China advocates resolving issues through political and diplomatic channels, she said. The people of China and Iran enjoy a traditional friendship. China stands ready to continue playing its role as a responsible major country, diplomatic language. But the timing turned it into something louder. This is not the first time. On January 13th, when protests were sweeping Iran and Trump threatened 25% tariffs on any country doing business with Tehran, Mao Ning used nearly identical language. China hopes Iran will maintain stability and supports Iran in doing so, she said. What changed this week is the context. U.S. and allied reporting described this as one of the biggest American buildups in the region in decades. 2 aircraft carriers, thousands of troops, F-35s, F-22s, guided missile destroyers. And China responded publicly, backing Iran's stability and rights as Washington signals it is weighing military options. Then came the satellite images. Miser Vision, a Chinese company with reported ties to military-linked firms, published imagery that appears to show 11 US F-22s at Israel's Ovda air base in the southern Negev. The images also showed what analysts identified as a Patriot air defense battery positioned near the base. Israeli outlets reported the deployment, pointing to the satellite imagery and open source tracking. The F-22 are in the American arsenal.
So real quick, Elder. So from what it's looking like, what maybe could happen as far as how China is going to get involved as far as in the defense of Iran is probably dealing with the fact as far as the location of where China is at and to where it was just said here in this video that they have technology. Because, you know, I said this last night, Elder, that, you know, China and Japan, right, you know what I'm saying, these Asians, they got way more advanced technology than over here in the United States. And they have satellite to be able to track, you know, military aircraft detection, you know what I'm saying, anywhere around their area or the surrounding areas as far as dealing with the BRICS, as far as who they're in cahoots with. And so with this Iran stuff going on and the fact that they're sitting back, clearly coming up with a plan as far as how they're going to respond. In the meantime, it looks like, China's going to take a huge role as far as, keeping watch as Iran plans. What do you think? Because they definitely back up Iran. What do you think about that?
Well, absolutely. I what I'm seeing as I look at the picture as a whole, the United States is targeting the oil reserves of China and Russia. First, they hit Venezuela. What did Trump say about Venezuela? He was taking over their oil production, right?
Their oil, right? Exactly, right.
Same thing that's planned for Iran, just like they did.
Yeah, because but that's the thing, though. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Elder. But doesn't China get their oil from Iran?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's the point. That's one of the Venezuela and Iran for both Russia and China.
Wow.
So the United States is poking the bear indirectly by dealing with the third party. That's what they're doing, because they know that the BRICS and the currency that the China and the Russia is trying to put together and establish a stronghold also in our keeper line. They're trying to destabilize that. That's why Trump bombed Nigeria. He wants the uranium. Why do he want the uranium? To build nuclear weapons.
That makes sense. So
it's
Elder over here dropping gems, y'all. Real talk. But go ahead.
Yeah, so we have to sometimes what they do is say, watch my left hand while my right hand fleece your pockets. So you gotta, you keep a small eye on what they put out in the public, but dig in and look at the totality of what's going on.
Well, chat definitely agrees with you, Elder. You know what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High and Him alone. Let's continue with this and see if we can get some more information.
Say sending heavily unusual. According to flight tracking analysts, 12 F-22s departed from Royal Air Force Lakenheath in England on Tuesday and headed toward Israel. 11 landed at Ovda. One returned to the UK due to a technical issue. Another 12 F-22s arrived at RAF Lakenheath on Wednesday. Open source trackers say more jets could follow, but no official schedule has been confirmed. If they do, the total number of American stealth fighters stationed in the region could reach 24. Mizar Vision also released imagery from beyond Israel. The firm published satellite images of American tanker aircraft arriving at a base in Saudi Arabia, force buildups on Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean, 22 U.S.
My dad my stepdad had to do a year when he was in the Navy. He had to go do a year. I think this was during the time that I believe Bush was in office. Wasn't we kind of like at like a potential war, Elder, during that time?
Were you talking about Bush Jr.?
Yeah, Bush Jr.
Yeah, Bush Jr. went after Saddam Hussein and weapons of mass destruction. They launched an attack over there.
Right, and from that attack, which is crazy, Elder, is that whenever people look at it, what I'm saying, like, oh, well, Russia and Ukraine, that's just between them two. Well, it actually affects, what I'm saying, everybody worldwide whenever there's some type of issue that's going on. Because my stepdad had to go literally do a whole year, what I'm saying, away from the entire family, and Diego Garcia for a whole year, what I'm saying, during that time where war was actually, what I'm saying, turning up before he retired. And so it just goes to show as far as like how even like how America can literally just plant basically, what I'm saying, their ideology, their seed, if you want to call it, what I'm saying, their ships, what I'm saying, their bases, all over the place because, what I'm saying, of world dominion is what they've always, what I'm saying, been searching and reaching for. And so it's just nothing's new under the sun. And what's crazy is that the only thing that's different than last time or back then, is that this time, like you were saying earlier, these other nations are now linking up with each other and forming their own alliances, and they have the technology and weapons and nuclear power, by the way, which is why I feel like that BRICS was literally formed. But they have the nuclear power to be able to destroy all of America, especially China.
Right. Well, you know, the United States demise is going to be self-inflicted wound first, because one, we spread across the earth so thin. We're the only country, we have more military bases in the world than all the rest of the countries put together.
Yep, you not lying about that, Elder. I live by like, just in a little small state where I'm here at, it's probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe 8.
And worldwide, even bases that's not on U.S. soil, we have more bases that is not on U.S. soil than all other countries put together that have bases throughout the earth. We have, I mean, and so our military is spread thin, you know, and then with the whole political argument over here right now, you know, the Democrats are saying that this war is unsanctioned, this attack is unsanctioned, just like the attack in Venezuela. Then you got all of this ICE movement, you got all this stuff going on where it's going to be a self-inflicting wound that's going to leave the United States vulnerable.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it's crazy that we was watching this video, right? Because I had seen this earlier, Elder, and I wanted you to check this out. Now, I looked up the information dealing with this. This was not AI, but it was translated as far as in English, as far as what he was actually saying on behalf of the matter, as far as what's been going on in their affairs, you know what I'm saying? Or how they feel about America.
Have
So
war,
check this
you
out.
will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated is a missile with all the warheads. We call it 61 because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus 1 hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson.
Elder, what is a hydrogen bomb? What's the effects of that?
So hydrogen is just like, you know, the United States dropped that hydrogen bomb. I think it was in Japan. They dropped, I forgot what year they did.
Hiroshima?
Yeah, I think that was Hiroshima.
Oh.
I think that was when they dropped that bomb at that point in time, if I'm not mistaken.
So is it like a certain, like some type of gas?
So it's like, so when you think about bombs, the hydrogen like sucks the air out of the area, and it uses the particles of the bomb attaches to the air particles that it pulls, and it causes combustion. So it's like, it's one of the
so basically it's part of the chemical what they would call on the what do they call that in chemistry, that table,
the periodic table.
Yeah, so would it be like what, H2O?
Yeah,
not H2O, but
hydrogen is the other element within the H part of the H2O.
Okay, got you.
So it can be combustible. That's like when you got tanks, like, you know, when you had those CO2 tanks, when you had those pop machines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Keep that in there. You know, those tanks can be turned into bombs too if it's full. You know, so they use that technology like back in the 50s, 40s, and 50s instead of the nuclear bomb. But
I
that's
see what
just
you're
as
saying.
deadly. It's just as deadly.
Wow.
Just as deadly.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All praise to the Most High, man. Right. So I want to 1 second, real quick. I want to look
I
at this.
see somebody said Isaac made, I can't see his name, in May 15th, 1957, the first British hydrogen bomb was tested during Operation Grapple. And but I think, and he's right, I believe, but I think America was the first one to actually use it against an actual nation. Yeah.
Right. Which you were saying earlier, which will be Hiroshima.
Right.
Is that why? And I think the retaliation was Pearl Harbor, right?
Yeah, it was Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Because they bombed Pearl Harbor over, what was that, Hawaii, and then they went over there and started to attack Japan.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's look at this, Elder.
Amid escalating strikes on Iranian territory, a high-level diplomatic channel has opened between Moscow and Tehran. At the initiative of the Iranian side, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held a telephone conversation with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi on February 28th. Tehran briefed Moscow on steps taken by the Iranian leadership to repel what it described as US and Israeli aggression, accusing Washington and Tel Aviv of once again disrupting negotiations on a peaceful settlement of the Iranian nuclear issue. The Iranian side announced plans for the urgent convening of the United Nations Security Council. Lavrov condemned what he called an unprovoked armed attack by the United States and Israel, saying it violated the principles and norms of international law and ignored grave consequences for regional and global stability. Russia has issued a blistering condemnation after the United States, and Israel launched airstrikes on Iranian territory early Friday morning. In a strongly worded statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation described the operation as a premeditated and unprovoked act of armed aggression against a sovereign UN member state. Moscow says the scale and nature of the military political preparations leave no doubt that the attack was planned in advance and carried out in violation of international law.
The scale and nature of the military, political, and propaganda preparations preceding this reckless step, including the deployment of a large military group of the USA in the region, leave no doubt that we are talking about a premeditated and unprovoked act of armed aggression against a sovereign and independent member state of the UN.
Hold on. What do you think about, I want to rewind this statement. What do you think about this, Elder? This statement right here.
Leave no doubt.
Leave no doubt.
Go ahead.
Leave no doubt that we are talking about a premeditated and unprovoked act of armed aggression against a sovereign and independent member state of the UN.
And this is what Russia is saying, right?
Yes.
Right. And so I can go with that because here's the thing. You know, a lot of people may not realize that, you know, when the United States started to hit hard times in the past, whether it was World War I, World War II. Those wars became very beneficial financially to the elite families within the United States. It's the same thing that we're looking at now. These acts of aggression. So here's the benefit of war monetarily. Whoever's making the machinery, they're going to benefit greatly. Trillions of dollars, right? You're gonna have you're gonna have whatever the whether it's oil, gold, whatever, whoever gets the victory of that, that's another influx. Also, unfortunately, they're trying to weed out some of these the population. Population control is another dynamic of war.
They've been doing population control for years. Just I mean, we can see that even all the way back in the Torah in Egypt, when after Joseph died and all his brethren, and how the new Pharaoh came into play, which is like, you know what I'm saying, oh, there's just too many of these people. And they first I believe the first time that you actually even see in the Torah as far as like population control is in Exodus chapter 1, to where they sent taskmasters on us. And what was that for? To try to basically, you know what I'm saying, control the population. But yeah, that's a great point though. But go ahead.
Absolutely. And after you leave this slide, when you get a chance, just put in your Google hydrogen bomb and share that with the viewers so they can read it, so that they can see.
Let's pull this up right now, if that's cool. Okay, so I got it here. Let me share this. All right. I can click on the Wikipedia link here. That'll give us more. But I'm looking at this picture. All right. Let's just click on the link and see what it gives us. So thermonuclear weapon. All right. It says the thermonuclear weapon, fusion weapon, or hydrogen bomb, H-bomb, is a second generation nuclear weapon using nuclear fusion. The most destructive weapons ever created. Wow. That's crazy. And China says that they're the only ones that have it, and that America doesn't even have these types. It says their yields typically exceed first generation nuclear weapons by 20 times, with far lower mass and volume requirements. Characteristics of fusion reactions can make possible the use of non-fissile depleted uranium as the weapon's main fuel, thus allowing more efficient use of scarce fissile material, or fissile material, however you want to say that.
Why you think Trump wanted to get the uranium out of Nigeria?
Elder, you hitting something here. You hitting a nerve here, Elder. Right? You cooking, Elder. You cooking, but you right on that, right? Let's continue reading, right? Because now I'm learning, because I asked you this earlier, so I'm glad we looked this up. Its multi-stage design is distinct from the usage of fusion in simpler boosted fission or fission weapons. The first full-scale thermonuclear test, which was done by Ivy Mike, was carried out by the United States in 1952. That's crazy, Elder. That wasn't even long ago. And the concept has since been employed by at least the 5 NPT recognized nuclear weapon states. These are the states they got listed, Elder. It says the United States, of course, Russia, the United Kingdom, China, and France. So this is what I was saying. I don't know if you've seen what Trump said yesterday. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. But he was lying a lot as far as his statement. He was making statements talking about like, yeah, nobody has, you know, the nuclear power that America has, you know what I'm saying, on the military that, you know what I'm saying, structure that America has. And these were just all lies.
Right. Yeah, he completely, I mean, Russia, China, we know even Korea, you know, they have the ability. Think about it. even although India is not a war type nation, they have the expertise and the technology that's even greater, or I would say equal to China at a minimum.
Wow.
You know,
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, because I mean, this is the opportunity, you know, now for them to try to, you know, get back, you know, as far as on America, who's
Yeah.
been deeming themselves as, you know, they can't be touched at all whatsoever. But we see clearly, you know, that's not the case. But let's continue to read this last. Let's just continue to read this a little bit. It says the design of all the thermonuclear weapons is believed to be the Teller-Ulam configuration. So as far as the Teller-Ulam configuration, it says that is the technical concept behind thermonuclear weapons, also known as hydrogen bombs.
Mhm.
The design relies on the radiation implosion principle. This is what you were saying earlier.
Mhm. It sucks in. It sucks in.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Using the thermal X-rays released from a fission nuclear primary to compress and ignite nuclear fusion in a secondary.
I
Wow.
want you to think about a hydrogen bomb. Think of it like you got a pinhole in a cup, right?
Right, right.
And through that pinhole, you suck a whole city through that pinhole.
You gotta say that again. You kind of went out a little bit through that pinhole. You what?
Through that pinhole, you can suck a house, a town, and a whole city through that pinhole.
Oh yeah, we've seen that in like cartoons, certain movies.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I know what you're talking
real.
about.
That's the technology of the hydrogen bomb.
What? Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, so if the hydrogen bomb, Elder, would explode and it has the capability to suck stuff near is it just sucking it near the explosion, like near the destruction?
Yeah, it's taking the air, everything that's in this atmosphere, and just crushing it together. It's almost like, I don't know, like I forgot what movie I saw like that. It was one of those X-Men movies where Magneto did something like that. But it's
yeah, I know what
sucking.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
He
that's
sucked everything to, like, you know what I'm saying? I think everybody to like a certain wall or something like that. I forgot which X-Men that is. I know.
Yeah, and that movie and the X-Men, the time frame of the X-Men and Magneto was during the time of the development of the hydrogen bomb.
Wow, that's good information.
Mhm.
So then I would be right then, right, Elder, if I was saying that this hydrogen bomb has a capability to suck you, because of course it's going to be an explosion with fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it also has the capability to suck anything that's surrounding around it to the you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the explosion, to the fire, to, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's
crazy. And the thing about it, hydrogen technology, just like nuclear, hydrogen is a form of nuclear technology, but hydrogen can be used in other ways instead of using gasoline. They can use hydrogen to run vehicles. They can use they have tested vehicles out with hydrogen technology over years ago, like 30-40 years ago. They can run vehicles off of that. They tried to create, I think it was one country, I want to say it was China, created a train that they can use to run off hydrogen technology. Well, go ahead.
Okay, let's get back to this video, but I appreciate you for breaking that down. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, this let the truth be told. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn too, y'all. You understand? Right? We all here taking advantage of the elder. Let's keep it 100. Me included. We taking advantage. We trying to get this knowledge, you know what I'm saying, that you can't get in college. You understand?
Hallelujah.
All right, hallelujah. All praise to the Most High and Him alone.
State of the UN, in violation of the fundamental principles and norms of international law.
The Kremlin has framed the strikes as reckless escalation, warning that the region is being pushed toward what it calls a humanitarian, economic, and possibly radiological catastrophe. Russia argues that bombing nuclear facilities operating under safeguards of the International Atomic Energy Agency is unacceptable and risks undermining the global non-proliferation regime anchored in the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. According to Moscow, the American-Israeli tandem is ignoring the consequences for regional stability.
Washington have once again embarked on a dangerous adventure, which is rapidly bringing the region closer to a humanitarian and possibly radiological catastrophe. The aggressors' intentions are clear, and they are openly declaring them to destroy the constitutional order and eliminate the leadership of an undesirable state that refuses to submit to military dictatorship and hegemony.
In one of its strongest accusations, Russia says the responsibility for any chain reaction of violence will lie entirely with the United States and Israel. The statement warns of unpredictable consequences and a spiral of escalation that could engulf the wider Middle East. Moscow argues that such actions could ultimately encourage countries across the region to pursue stronger deterrent capabilities, calling on the international community, including the United Nations.
Elder, real quick. Look at Trump over here, Elder. Look at Trump. Trump is just a puppy, y'all. He has no clue what's going on, whether y'all don't know or not. He just oh my gosh. Sorry. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all praise to the Most High. Hold on one second.
To pursue stronger deterrent capabilities.
Look at Trump.
Yes, I agree. I feel very strongly, very, very strongly. We're gonna issue out bombs and drones over there in Iran. I feel very strongly about the oil that's over there.
hey, he said they're totally obliterated.
Hey, y'all want to see in the in the Tanakh, Elder, where it talks about removing the understanding, what I'm saying, out of these people that's got these higher leadership positions, you know what I mean? What it says, like in Obadiah, Malachi, stuff like that. This is what it looks like, right here. Like nothing about to happen. like everything just cool. And that goes with what you was talking about earlier, Elder, as far as their characteristic, right? The spirit of these elites and these people that are in positions. It's to the point, Elder, I'm not gonna lie, I be thinking like most of the majority of these people that are in these positions are not even human.
You know what? I thought, hey, listen, when you and that could be, hey, they could be drones. I still think that even Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, he had to have a few clones. He couldn't even make it up the steps, so it's all kind of clones running around here today.
Look at Sleepy Joe catching strays, y'all.
And and then you got Trump over here in the corner standing. You just look at his position. That's the world leader with the nuclear remote control in his pocket. Think about that. He got the nuclear remote control in his pocket.
Yeah, for real. I'm telling you. And they probably, they tell him what to speak, or they can control what he says, all this stuff, because I don't know, man. It's just I haven't seen the likes of this. I was saying this last night, Elder. I haven't seen the likes of this type of boldness since George Bush Jr.
I don't even think it's comparable in the last. Oh man, Trump is a renegade. I think he's surpassing a lot of people with that. His boldness.
Did you live during the time of Nixon?
He was right before me. I was right when around the time I was born. Nixon was in president. So yeah, but
he was Nixon was impeached, right?
Yeah, for white. What is it? Watergate? Was that Watergate? Right. Yeah, Watergate. dealing with that. But still, the arrogancy, just because I mean, I've studied a lot. The arrogancy of the presidents, Trump is surpassing everybody. He's surpassing everybody with his. Listen, what president have you heard say, all you gotta do is grab the female in her, you know what?
Yeah. Hey, hold on. The last thing he said when what was it? Who came in office when who came in office right after him? Biden. Was it Biden? Yeah.
Biden came in
the last thing he said on his speech, you know what I'm saying, to everybody was, let me just let you know, I'm gonna go out with this. China did it. I was dying, bro. He walked off the stage, bro. I was like, this man is wilding. But yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I don't think we've ever seen the likes of this, which is furthermore signs that, Elder, we definitely are at the fourth quarter. We're at the last probably 5 minutes left in the ball game. And
look at it. He clearly was spearheading under the table the insurrection and still became president again. So this guy right here is this guy is the modern day Cyrus for sure.
That makes sense.
You know, he told the people at his inauguration he was here by a mission from God.
Right. So you're right. And because with everything that we're seeing, this clearly, I mean, we know the Most High controls all spirits, but the way he's controlling the spirit of Donald Trump is like clearly a sign that he's trying to speed this thing up. The Most High is fed up, right? He is, what is that? Isaiah 40, what is it? Isaiah 45 and it's not 45, Isaiah 42, right? Verse, you know what I'm saying? I believe, you know what I'm saying? Where it talks about, you know, I've held still long enough. Right. Now I will cry out like a travailing woman. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. Yeah, y'all. So we got to make sure that we repent and get ourselves together, y'all, and really just, you know what I'm saying, accept the punishment of our iniquity and declare ourselves, you know what I'm saying, as Yasharala, for real.
Right. And you know, you look at all the arrogant moves of Trump. Just think about it. Venezuela, Nigeria, Greenland, Mexico. It's not the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico is the Gulf of the United States.
Canada. I forgot about Nigeria. We didn't talk about that. We were supposed to. Right. I forgot about that. That got swept under the rug. Right. Go ahead.
Right. Canada. He told them they can be a state. You know, they gross domestic product makes them comparable to a state in the United States. We can just absorb them. Think about all of the statements that this president has made. He's the epitome of arrogancy. Seriously.
Right. Exactly. No, that makes sense. Let's push play.
Calling on the international community, including the United Nations, to deliver an objective and uncompromising assessment, Russia has demanded an immediate return to political and diplomatic negotiations. The Kremlin says it remains ready to assist in finding peaceful solutions based on international law, mutual respect, and balance of interests. But with military strikes underway and tensions surging, the warning from Moscow is clear. The Middle East may now be standing at the edge of a far more dangerous escalation. Russia has reacted sharply to the reported US-Israel strikes on Iran. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev accused Washington of disguising military intent behind diplomatic engagement. In a blistering message, he questioned the credibility of American negotiations with Tehran.
The peacemaker has once again shown his true colors. All the negotiations with Iran are a cover-up operation. No one ever doubted that. No one really wanted to negotiate anything significant anyway.
You know, there's a lot of cover-ups, Elder.
It's a lot.
There's a lot of cover-ups, a lot of propaganda, a lot of fake news that's being floated out there to disguise as far as what's really going on behind the scenes, whether it's the motive of certain actions that have been done from the United States and their allies, certain motives and actions that's been done even from, the other allies as far as dealing with Russia, China, and things of that nature. There's always a secret motive that's not exposed to the public.
Right.
And there's always a backup scenario that is exposed to the public that is used as a distraction.
Yeah. He's saying he's the peacemaker, but you
Mhm.
dropping bombs, kidnapping presidents, the
Right.
whole gamut, but you the peacemaker, right?
Right. And again, because it's like the scriptures say that when the rich man speaks, everybody extols it to the clouds. And when you have a history of that, these people that are in these positions that are rich can just put out any type of false, statement that's not true, and know that it's going to catch on to the general public, and they can just get away, continue to do wicked under the table. So this is madness. And the Most High is definitely coming back soon, Elder. For real. And I want to look into this though, Elder, real quick. My brother Bez sent this to me. Shout out to my brother Bez of GOZ. GOZ until we free. You understand? Make sure y'all make some noise for my brothers. You know what I'm saying? All praise of the Most High. So as we're moving forward, this actually happened today, I believe, Elder. It was today. Well, actually, no, this was updated March 1st, 2026. So it says a Texas gunman wore property of Allah hoodie during an attack and had photos of Iranian leaders at home. And these are the sources. I want to go over this. So this is the man right here. As you see right here. As it says, property of Allah. You see that, Elder?
I see that.
And I'm kind of, it's kind of blurred out on the picture. But if you kind of really look deeper, you can tell that, he's a very dark-skinned, melanated, I would say, Ishmaelite. Maybe a Canaanite. From just when I'm looking. I don't know, though. I can't tell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go off looks, but, he kind of has those type of features.
Mm-hmm.
It says a new, let me highlight this real quick. It says a new photo has emerged of the gunman who police say killed 2 people and wounded 14 at a bar in Austin, Texas. So we're talking about a mass shooting attempt by one man. The gunman who was shot and killed by the police, which was this guy that we were looking at, was wearing a sweatshirt that said property of Allah during the attack. According to 2 sources familiar with the investigation, the description matches a photo obtained by Fox News that appears to show the gunman carrying a long gun. There were indicators on the suspect and in his vehicle that suggest a potential nexus to terrorism. FBI acting special agent Alex Doran said during a briefing Sunday, though he cautioned that it was too early to determine the motive. Officials executed a search warrant at the gunman's home on Sunday and found an Iranian flag, Elder, and pictures of Iranian leaders. So, that's another thing too, Elder, and you can correct me on this if you or if you agree, is that with what's going on as far as the attack on Iran, a lot of our people are not understanding that there are people that are dedicated to Iran, that are from there, dedicated to that religion, which actually requires you to, hey man, offer yourself, in likes of killing other people, which is what this guy did. I wouldn't be surprised, Elder, if this was a plant, right? Like this was somebody that they had planted as far as Iran, that they had planted just in America. Because look where it happened at. It happened in Texas. That's a major state.
Yeah, I go along. I like, I agree that he could be a plant. It's like that movie, Manchurian Candidate. I don't know if you ever seen
with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Yeah, check that out.
I heard about it. I just haven't seen it.
You got to see it. Good movie.
Okay.
But the question is, who planted and for what purpose? I more so lean along the sides of Black Ops, CIA plant people like this to gear the attention of the public in the United States to yield to what they say on the media. So you see somebody go do something like this. He got a Quran, he got property of Allah on his shirt, and they saying he's saying all kind of things. Next thing you know, they're gonna investigate his home and they're gonna find a whole thesis why he was gonna do this. So what that does is put the mindset in the public to be against the people, to make them more yielding to, oh, well, you know what? Hey, the United States government do what they got to do. We got to go over there. We got to deal with the Iranians. And that kind of like makes it more acceptable, because now they say you got this person over here doing this when this Manchurian candidate was planted by the same government that we within. Not really by the Iranians, but by the United States itself. They do stuff like that. They do stuff
that makes
like
sense. That makes sense.
To guide the consciousness of the man, here in the United States, to get you to buy into the propaganda machine.
All right, can you repeat that just a little bit again, Elder? It's kind of you went out just a little bit. So
okay, it puts us in a mindset to yield to the propaganda machine when they put people in place like this. Because now he's the scapegoat per se.
Right.
Oh, he got Allah, property of Allah. He got a Quran. He got Allah Akbar all over and stuff in his house. And next thing you know, they're going to be saying that kind of stuff. And then what happens in the psyche of the citizen of the United States, the red-blooded American, as they say, they're going to say, hey, we got to back our country. We're going to go over there and we're going to go to war. So now you got the youth over here signing up to go to war because they feel that we under attack. See, this is the cloak and dagger move that the United States does. They use black ops all the time. That's how they get rid of regimes. That's what happened to Muammar Gaddafi in Libya.
I remember that. Yeah, that's true.
They're going to paint. And then what happened to the weapons of mass destruction? All of a sudden, it was all these weapons of mass destruction that Bush Jr. said that they had over there. Turned out, couldn't find one. But y'all done bombed, y'all done killed Saddam Hussein and did all of that because you said it was weapons of mass destruction.
Wow. And actually, my auntie Earth Healing Angel, she agrees with you. She says they find the most impoverished and unethical person who is desperate for money to seek out and be a part of the plan. It's the same with the sellouts in our community. And I think, that's a great point. Shout out, to my internet auntie.
Absolutely. I agree. Thank you, sister. You hit it on the head.
Oh, praise the Most High. So let's continue to read. And then I got another video one more video that I want to play, to end this out, Elder, and then we can get our final thoughts on this situation, if that's okay.
Okay.
All praise to the Most High and him alone. Shout out to the chat, you guys, for rocking with us. We're going to go through and look at all the comments, some of the comments that you guys dropped in the chat to address, some of the stuff that you guys said as far as dealing with this situation. So we definitely appreciate you guys, and all honor goes to the Most High. It says the shooter was identified by Austin police as a 53-year-old Nidaga Dien. Multiple U.S. officials told CBS News he was a naturalized American citizen born in Senegal. And see, the fact that there's a lot of, I don't know if you've seen this, Elder, but even with this, there's a lot of major networks that are attached to this story, attached to this event. I mean, CBS News, right? It says that multiple U.S. officials told CBS News, well, why them? Right? If you're going on the scene, I'm pretty sure CBS News wasn't the first on the scene as far as dealing with the shooting. We got to be real, right?
Right. See what they're doing. What they're
Mhm.
doing is creating a narrative for the reader and the viewer to buy into. You know, they creating that narrative, and you know it's funny. Who is that? The one rapper. He went over to Senegal to build his own city. Akon.
Akon. Yeah.
So this is
Right.
they're saying that this young man is from Senegal.
Akon and Young Jeezy trying to take it easy.
They locked up. They locked up and won't let them out. So, you know, but they somebody else said in the chat they're staging a lot of these things to kind of indirectly take over Al-Qibalan, you know, and I can see that too. I saw that comment in the chat.
Where was that at? Let me see. Yeah, we gonna address the chat. You know what I'm saying in a minute. Chat is jumping right now. They're hitting all their, you know what I'm saying, their opinions, right? So we definitely gonna address the chat after this, you know what I'm saying, last video. But let's just finish this real quick, Elder. As it says here, investigators believe the gunman acted alone. I mean, yeah, this is.
Think about that. So
this is crazy, man.
Think about that. He put on property of Allah, go in there and shoot up a bunch of people for what? That's Manchurian Candidate kind of stuff.
Right. I see. Well, I can't agree on that because I haven't seen that movie, but I do feel that you're right.
You check
So
that
I'm gonna
movie
go check
out.
that movie out. Yeah, for sure. Police say he had a handgun and a rifle during the attack. I mean, a rifle has a lot of kickback power depending on what type of rifle it was. So you definitely can't just be shooting that with just one hand. So maybe he probably had the handgun on the side, you know what I'm saying, in a holster, you know, like on his leg or something like that, and then came in with the rifle. But even with a rifle attack, that makes sense, Elder, because it said there was only 2 people. As we look up here, it says that he only killed 2 people, but wounded 14 at a bar. So that sounds like a rifle attack. Because you only have a certain amount of time to, you know what I'm saying. You're still gonna have to reload.
You only got so many shots in a rifle that you gonna
get off. Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. But you know, when you get hit with a rifle bullet,
yeah. Well, you know, it's either going straight through you or it's taking
taking something off. It's taking something off. So a limb is coming off.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same, like getting hit with a shotgun, you know what I'm saying, at close range.
Yeah.
Like a sawed off or something like that. So check this out, Elder. This is what, you know what I'm saying, shout out to my our brother Phineas YG. This is what he sent. Let's look at this. It says America's most vulnerable states in a World War III scenario, because guys, this is the scenario that we are now having to deal with, right? So let's check this out.
The 10 U.S. states that will burn first in World War III. For most of human history, the United States has been invincible. Protected by 2 massive oceans, it was a fortress that no army could touch. But technology has killed geography. Today, the threat isn't coming from a boat, it's coming from the edge of space. Before we look at where the bombs will fall, we have to understand who is sending them. The list of nations that can successfully strike the American mainland is terrifyingly short. First, there is Russia. They possess the largest nuclear arsenal on Earth, with heavy ICBMs like the Sarmat that can reach any point in the US in under 30 minutes. Second is China. For decades, they had a small force, but they are rapidly building hundreds of new missile silos in their desert. They can now hit the East Coast, the West Coast, and everything in between. And then, the wild card, North Korea. Their Hwasong 15 and 17 missiles have theoretically demonstrated the range to hit Washington, D.C., though their accuracy is still debated. So, if the leaders in Moscow, Beijing, or Pyongyang decide to push the button, they aren't going to fire randomly at Times Square or Disney World. That is a Hollywood myth. Real war is about math. It's about crippling the enemy's ability to fight back. If Russia or China attacks, they will prioritize counterforce targets. They will try to destroy America's nukes before America can launch them.
Okay, so right there, real quick, because I'm just watching this for the first time. It says that the first thing that they're going to try to attack is America's nukes. I'm going to keep it 100, Elder. I believe where I'm at right? It's very close to my parents. Bangor Base in Silverdale, Washington, has the most nukes and submarines. Naval base.
You
It's,
know,
it's literally about. It's only literally an hour, less than an hour. It's 40. It takes me 40 minutes to get to Silverdale, Bangor Base.
yeah,
I used to live on that base.
they probably got, and I believe that too. They probably have over 20 installations to where they are crafting nuclear weapons. Like back in the Vietnam War, World War II, World War I, World War II, Detroit, because it's the auto industry, they had all of the plants. Those would be, they had to turn the plants over into making tanks back in those times. But now it's not a ground war per se. You know, nobody wants to get into a ground conflict anymore. Everybody wants to push the button. You know, they want to push the button
because everything evolves, Elder, right?
Yeah,
and it's like it's the same type of mindset, it's the same type of spirit, but it just evolves. Just kind of how like you even see like in sports, like everybody wants to shoot threes now.
Yeah, or just like
they don't want to get in the paint. You know what I'm saying? To get dirty, like you was referencing to, as far as they don't want to do a ground war,
right?
And
it's
so everything
like
is going through the air.
Yeah,
and you but you know what's crazy, Elder, is that prophecy talks about how, you know what I'm saying, he gonna dry up, you know what I'm saying, that Euphrates. You know what I'm saying? And now when that dries up, you're gonna have not only the current war that we have going on where everything's in the air, but it's also going to be on the ground too at the same time. And pretty much all hell is breaking loose at that point.
Right. And it's just like in the street. I remember growing up, you could fight and see it to live another day. Nowadays, as they call our young people YNs, they out here, they're not gonna fight you, but they're gonna pull that pistol out.
They're gonna pull that switch.
That's what they're gonna do. You know, I mean, there's no fighting going on today. You know, so the same thing with the war. You know, is they pushing buttons. You know, they pushing buttons. They shooting bombs off. You know.
So this shout out to my big brother, you know what I'm saying, JD Smooth, love you, King. He says that Washington State, he's from, you know what I'm saying, here too as well. He's from Tacoma, from Hilltop. He said that Washington State would be the third world superpower if it detached from the USA. We have all branches of military here. That is true. Like, we have everything here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying, Elder, just in this little state alone, this entire state is pretty much, which is why I believe it's, if you look at, I think we're the third most expensive state in the United States, where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Washington being in that position. I could also see Virginia, because you know in Virginia that's where all the top secret stuff is held at, is in Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, they're close, and they're close to ports too, as far as like on the
yes, they got access to the ocean, and you know, but all of the, whether it be FBI, CIA, military, all of that's in Virginia.
Okay, that makes sense. Shout out to my big brother, you know what I'm saying, JD Smooth, you know what I'm saying, love you, King, all praise to the Most High. So let's continue to push play on this, right? Check this out, y'all.
And unfortunately for the people living there, America keeps its biggest guns in 10 specific states. These are the 10 states that will be sacrificed to save the rest of the country. At number 1, it is North Dakota. North Dakota is the only state that holds the nuclear trifecta. 1. Minot Air Force Base. This is the only base in the U.S. that houses both nuclear-capable B-52 bombers and Minuteman III missiles. 2. Radar systems. It sits on the northern edge, hosting the critical radars that track incoming fire. 3. Storage. Massive fuel and weapon depots.
So North Dakota is like the position that China is in. How China got the technology to be able to detect, you know what I'm saying, any type of attacks coming from the enemy of America's enemies. So I didn't know that. So I just wanted to bring that out. That's something that stood out to me. But,
right.
North Dakota is, quite literally, a powder keg. If you are a general in China or Russia, you look at North Dakota and you see the single biggest threat to your existence. If you destroy North Dakota, you destroy a huge chunk of America's ability to fight back by land and by air. It is a use it or lose it target. In a full-scale nuclear exchange, North Dakota would be hit with dozens, perhaps hundreds of warheads within the first 15 minutes of the war. The sheer amount of thermal energy released would turn the winter snow into steam instantly. The shock waves would flatten everything for hundreds of miles. The US government chose North Dakota to be the ultimate shield. It is the state most likely to burn so that the rest of America might survive. At number 2, we have the state that acts as the front door. It is Montana. Look at the map. If a missile flies from Russia to the US, it comes over the Arctic Circle. The first US state it crosses is Montana. Montana hosts the Malmstrom Air Force Base, which controls one of the largest missile fields in the world, 341st Missile Wing. Because Montana is geographically closer to Russia than the other missile states, the flight time for its missiles is shorter. This makes Montana the most aggressive threat. If the US president orders a strike, the missiles from Montana will hit Moscow first. Therefore, Russia must hit Montana first. There is no waiting. There is no negotiation. If the radar shows a war is starting, the first wave of enemy warheads will impact the Montana wilderness. The goal is to bury the silos under mountains of fire before the US can open the doors. The sacrifice risk here is catastrophic. And finally, the most dangerous place to be in the United States during World War III. At number 3, the sponge gets bigger. It is Wyoming. Wyoming is the least populated state in America, and that is exactly why the military loves it. It is the headquarters of F.E. Warren Air Force Base, which controls a massive web of missile silos spreading across 3 states. Wyoming is the heart of America's ICBM force. For an enemy planner, Wyoming is a math problem. There are 150 plus silos managed here. To disable them, you need to saturate the state with nuclear fire. If a war starts, Wyoming ceases to exist as a habitable landmass. The ground bursts used to crack the hardened concrete silos will kick up millions of tons of radioactive dirt. This dirt is what experts call black rain. It will fall for weeks, poisoning the water, the soil, and the air. Wyoming is ranked higher than South Dakota because the concentration of command bunkers here is denser. It's not just a sponge, it's a command node for the apocalypse.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, that makes sense as far as the black air, you know what I'm saying, the black rain or whatever they wanted to call it, as far as what he mentioned, as far as how it can literally pollute the water, because you still have certain prophecies that have to take place. And one of it, you know what I'm saying, is plagues, you know what I mean, that come upon, you know, the land as far as dealing with judgment here in Babylon. And so, I don't know. What do you think about that video? What do you think about that video? I didn't know that that Wyoming and that, well, Montana, I'm not surprised. Montana is very close to Washington. I'm not surprised about that. But Wyoming and he said North Dakota. What do you think about that?
You know, I have 2 perspectives on it. One, I mean, I'm feeling the information, but 2, also, I'm with the counterintelligence type of thing. You put out information to be counter to where stuff is actually at. Because you got people on social media, and this video can be seen by anybody, you know. And so I really do feel, just being in the military, they float a lot of things. There's a lot of things there's a lot of places that have the ability to be what they just said in this video. And I do kind of agree, like Washington State probably could be one. There's a lot of states that could be like that. There's some southern states. There's some, like I said, one of the states that they would take out first, naturally, well, it's a city, but, you know, a district, but Washington, D.C. would be gone. You know,
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that, Elder.
Not just Washington, but Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, all those states would be done, because they're gonna unload over there for sure. If that happens, you know. And that's one thing that hasn't happened since the independence war here in the United States, is attack here on our soil. Now, that'll be, you know, that's something that will be devastating to the general public, because we've never seen anything like that. Over there in the Middle East, they used to that. They see that all the time. They got bunkers. They go in everywhere. You know,
matter of fact, Earth Healing Angel, she lives in the Middle East, right? My auntie, she talks about this all the time. You know, she's been talking about it, you know, for months now, years, even on her channel, as far as the destruction that she sees just stepping outside of her door. So that's a great point that you brought up, Elder, because This is why I've been saying that it's coming to America near you, as far as what we've been seeing. And even the stuff with Mexico right now. I mean, everything is just, the war is closing in closer and closer and closer. And there's going to be even more stuff that's going to break out moving forward in the next maybe few days, maybe few weeks, as far as war between a country and another country. And so we're looking at all out World War III, y'all. All this is all signs of World War III, to where that every single country has a beef with another country, to the point that they have already attacked each other. So just because like Russia and Ukraine, right, nobody's talking about that, that's still brewing while this is going on. So we're talking about all hell breaking out at the same time. But what do you think about that?
Absolutely. I see that. You know, we got to pay attention to the smoke and mirrors too. You know, like there's some things going on behind the scenes. They want the general public of the United States to be focused on something while they're doing something else. You know, we got to also pay attention to that. Not making light of what's going on with the Middle East right now, because that's a volatile situation. And when you start to threaten the third party business relationships between China and Russia and whoever they partnering with, then you stepping on some toes. And what they're trying to do is strangle out the resources of both of those nations. And so what they're doing is actually pulling those nations into a conflict with the United States. It's like the United States wants to have a war, but the problem is on whose soil. So right now, if they start to go full throttle over there in Iran, then that's going to be the nucleus of the war. That means that, you know, Iran, the Middle East, is going to be obliterated, like Putin said, because the war is going to spread out throughout that whole region. And whoever goes to war, whether it's Russia, China, or both, or some other party that goes to war, that's going to be the location of the war, you know. And whoever, it's not going to be any winners, but you know, the United States is good. I'll say this: we some serpents when it comes to that black ops, for sure. You know,
that is true. That is true. That is definitely true. And that's why I feel like this World War III is not going to be quick. I see a lot of people, you know, as far as the media, what they pushing, they're trying to get everybody to panic. Like right now, like it's about to be destroyed tomorrow. Well, I mean, there's still some stuff that has to take place. And, you know, as far as dealing with World War, if you even look back, even previous wars, it always, you know what I'm saying, it evolved in time. You know what I'm saying? And so these are things we got to realize, right? All praise to the Most High, man. We got our brother right before we getting ready to end. Got to bring him up on stage. You know what I'm saying? I got my brother Phineas YG in the back chat. All praise to the Most High. We got to bring him in the building. Shout out to Phineas YG. I don't think he's ready yet, but hey, man, we is giving you, you know what I'm saying, your flowers. All praise to the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. But yeah, Elder, it's getting real out here.
Oh, it's real. You know, that's for sure. That's for sure. It's real. You know, as we, you know, we've been desensitized. Just the general public's been desensitized by a lot of different things, whether it be media, movies, music, everything in general. We've been desensitized on what war really is. You know, that's a mass destructive move on people that have nothing to do with the political climate and agenda on no matter what country they in. You talking about wiping out people that had nothing to do with that, you know. And then the United States is big on jumping into somebody else's business, and then you put yourself in a position to police the whole world. Hey, you bringing the war to your doorstep. Shalom, my brother Phineas. How you doing?
Shalom.
All right, shalom, my brothers. Man, I'm in pain, man, but I couldn't allow y'all to finish off, man, without me coming out here saying something.
Love you,
hey,
brother.
You look like you lost some weight.
Yeah, all praise to the Most High. Losing weight, man. Losing weight, man. But that's what happens when you're in pain. You don't want to do that.
Who you getting ready to fight? You must getting ready to fight somebody. You preparing for a boxing match? You know that's what they do. You know they start to get a little tone. Start to, you know what I'm saying, take it a little seriously. You got something going on, you know, that we don't know about?
Nah, man. Just been taking it slow, man. Just been taking it slow.
All praise to the Most High.
But hey, the land back off you brothers, man. On today's show, I got to catch the end of it. I didn't get a chance to watch it, man. But I want to say this: people got to also be in tune to what Trump said on his second term when he came in. He said, "After this, ain't gonna be no more voting.
Right.
Ain't gonna be no more. He's gonna be the last president." He said it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. I ain't mean to interrupt you. But no, just go ahead. I feel like he's gonna say what I'm gonna say, but keep going.
No, go ahead. Cause I'm continue. Go ahead.
Because with the whole Epstein files, bro, you know what I'm saying, and everything that was supposed to come out, it just makes sense on how they were trying to hide that and sweep that under the rug, because that could have got him up out of there. And now with everything really coming out, you know what I'm saying, to flourishing, it makes sense. Okay, we got to make a move now so that we can provoke war. You know what I'm saying, to keep him up in there.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even so much about the war and keeping them in there. First off, don't let them move on this plane of existence without the Most High making it happen. You know, I know we don't deal with the NT, you know what I'm saying, but we do have to an extent, because they wrote it. And so let's not be ignorant thinking that they're not going to see out their playbook. You know what I'm saying? We would never know what the last trumpet is if you don't know what a trump is. You understand what I'm saying? And so that is 100% facts, bro. And everything that we're seeing that was written in so-called Revelation, man, we're seeing it right now. You know what I'm saying? The dragon is going to give up the power to the bear. You know, we're here. We're really it's at our doorstep, man, and it's no longer a game. And so the things that we really need to focus more on is getting prepared for our troubles, because this fight is not our fight. But what is our fight is our fight that we need to have amongst ourselves to shut off the last idol, which is ourselves, before the day of the Almighty, man, because this is very real. This is very serious, and it is here, my people. You dig what I'm saying? And so first and foremost, we need to check our. Hey, let the heathens do what they're gonna do, man. You can read it all up and down in Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying? They already wrote and said what was going to happen in Revelation. Everything has to play out, and let's not think that because we are the Almighty's people, and that I think I saw my brother Solomon sitting here and say, "Hey, what's the scripture where it says his people won't be touched?" Honestly, everybody gonna get it, bro. Even the ones that he chose that are anointed, he said they got to be tried by fire. Period. And then we're gonna be crying like a woman in travail, gripping our stomachs, crying out to the Most High. And he's gonna say, "Oh, okay, these are my children. They're ready." You dig what I'm saying? So, hey, man, nobody knows the hour of the day. Right now, we should all be trying to get our own self prepared, man. To get your popcorn, watch the show, because it's not about us. But at the same time, nobody's gonna be able to be prepared about what's gonna come. Nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much food you got stored up. I don't care how much guns and ammo and stuff. Nobody is going to be prepared to what's to come. Period. Point blank. Whether if it be tomorrow, next year, or 5 years from now. I don't see it going past 5, but it's here at our doorstep, and so we need to be more concerned about what we got going on in our own personal lives, man, and our relationship with the Almighty, and learn to get right, Yaakov. And I say that loosely because my people still hasn't learned to be Yasharala. People still want to be Hebrew Israelites. So, like Elder always says, man, the baton's in your hand.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get out there while you got time. The Almighty giving you time to go and declare Yasharala. That's the blood that you got to put over the doorpost, and you that doorpost declare the name of salvation that the Almighty prepared for you today.
You know what? I'm glad that you actually said that, because now that everything is sparking up, Russia been pump faking, but they're saying, you know what, that's it. You know what I'm saying? China saying that's it. You know, North Korea is riding with both of them, so it don't even matter. But you know what? There's no more time. There's no more excuses. It's either you're going to do it or you ain't. We're actually at a time to where if you don't do it now, you're not going to be able to. And then at that point, you know, hopefully the Most High just has mercy on you, man, and you get to be one of the people who get tried by fire, man. You know what I'm saying? And pray that you get to make it out, because there's not even no guarantee that I'm gonna be able to make it. There's no guarantee that Elder Shemaiah might be the one to make it, even though we did it. You know what I'm saying? But there ain't no guarantees. You know what I'm saying? And so, but at the end of the day, though, letting the Most High see that you're serious about His business, serious about the love that you have for Him, serious about carrying His name, that He put it on you. You know what I'm saying? Ancient years ago, and actually going out there doing it. There's no more time to waste, y'all. Either examine on YouTube. My brother Solomon, you watching it, you too. And everybody else understand me in the chat. If you ain't did it, you too. You know what I'm saying? We even got some of the elders on the board, and I know for a fact they still got to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's no more excuses.
Mm-hmm.
It's either do it now or stuff. We could wake up tomorrow and we could be in World War III tomorrow. And then at that point, you ain't got what you gonna do. There's no more time to waste. There's no more falling off by the wayside, y'all code. Let's rise up and be Yasharala. Let's stop playing, man.
Oh, praise the Most High. That's some fire. That's some fire.
Hallelujah.
From my big brother Phineas YG. Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to do. You know, it's all in Isaiah. I definitely agree with you. Before we get ready to end this, though, I do want to address some of the comments. I did promise that I was going to address some of the comments as far as what the chat felt as far as throughout the entire live. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, my big brother, you know what I'm saying, chiming in and giving us, you know what I'm saying, that powerful message of encouragement that we need, you know what I'm saying, during these trying times. Let me look at this. So Hedora said, how can the only country to ever use a nuclear weapon on another people tell another country they can't have the same type of power?
That's the arrogancy of the administration of the United States. That kind of arrogancy is embedded in the psychology of the governmental structure of this nation. But under Trump, the skirt is lifted and he's showing you, he's exposing his whole mentality is really how deep down what they say, the red-blooded American feel that, hey, we the best thing since sliced cheese, can't nobody touch us. That's what they feeling. And we feel like we got carte blanche. And I hate to, and I'm really, when I'm saying we, I'm just saying that because we in the United States, because this is their nation, not mine. My nation is we trying to rise to the occasion and call for our people to come back and be restored, to emerge from the thickets, as it says in Ezekiel. That's come right. Out of this valley of dry bones. That's why y'all hearing these words in y'all ears today, for y'all to awaken and emerge from the thickets. But as we watching that, as we feeling this nation go through what it's going through, again, don't let be fearful of the smoke and mirrors. War could happen today. War could happen tomorrow. War could happen 2 years from now. Your concern is about what thus saith the Almighty and what leads you to the salvation of the nation, not based upon religion or doctrine or beliefism or opinion. We gotta go from beliefism and religion to truth and knowing. Truth don't require your opinion, and it don't require your belief. We can believe something all day. We can have an opinion about something all day, but does that mean it's true? Absolutely not. So We got to graduate, change the paradigm from those perspectives to knowing and truth. And so that's what you should be working on internally. That's what you should be coming from. So we know that we are Shemitic by bloodline, Hebrew by ethnicity, Yasharalites according to nationality. The consciousness is where the I am have crafted and put and infused into you. Yasharala, dead Yaakov, put into you to make that connection with the great I am. Almighty said, death and life is in the power of the tongue. That even supersedes bombs and everything else. If you really trust and know your creator, he says, death and life is in the power of the tongue. When we going to start speaking life, family?
Right.
When we going to start seeing life within us instead of seeing death and seeing curses and speaking curses on how we move. We got to speak life in order to be that light that the Almighty is looking for when he looks upon the earth and see his people.
That's right.
No, hallelujah, hallelujah. I think this is another good comment. Shout out to Avia Barak, my other auntie. She said that they said oil prices have spiked because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and that's over there. We're dealing with Iran, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is where the Strait of Hormuz is, right?
I got a comment on that. If people don't understand the gangster play that so-called America has pulled, they went and hijacked Venezuela. Why? Because Venezuela is they're the biggest oil reserve in the world, period, point blank, right? But when I got over there and really checked it out, what people don't realize is that the oil in Venezuela is so rich that it's too dang on thick. We can't use it. It's too thick. And here's the key point. Iran for years has been sending their oil over to Venezuela and mixing it. It's like for layman terms, excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna go to streetonomics.
Go there.
They gotta cut their dope. They gotta cut their dope. They gotta cut it. And so Iran for years has been sending their oil out there and mixing it, cutting it, so it can be usable. You know what I'm saying? Then Venezuela was selling it, to the different countries of the world. You dig what I'm saying? And so America is pulling the play. They said, okay, we got all the oil, right? We got all the barrels of oil. We got all the oil, but we can't use it. Iran got that cut. We need that work. So now they're going over there, right? And doing what they just did, a couple of nights ago, man, and to take over, do the same thing they did in Venezuela. But instead of capturing, what was his name? Instead of capturing, they just knocked him off. You know what I'm saying? And now they're going in to infiltrate, understand me, to take control of the oil. You know what I'm saying? So they can use it to get their cut to come over back over there across the world to cut their dope. That's what's going on, people. And then here's the third play. Why these three locations? Where is Iran located at? Right? We got to look at this geographically. What is right there? Burkina Faso. You got Ghana. You got all those other spots over there. The people who can control the land. As you know, so-called United States got more bases than I think they're the only ones.
Yeah,
we were all over the world.
No, we were talking about that earlier on the podcast. Even over here in this, even in this state alone, we got over 10.
There's over 200 something bases all over the world, bro. So you control the land, you control the gold, and you control the oil. Well, they got the land for the most part. Earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. America has been running rampant all across the world for years. Now they get control of the oil. And after that part, after they get that three locations, I don't know if they're going to make that play in Greenland or not that they've been talking about. But guess what? They need to get a hold of that gold, too. You get those three things in key in line, bro, game over.
No,
Right.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Hey, Zamran, JP, she had a question I want to answer.
Let me see.
She asked a question about how should she present herself with the name of Yasharal. I want to give her an example.
Is the question right here?
It was another one up above that. It was.
Let me look. My bad. I was going through from all the way from the top and working my way down. But let's just speed it up though.
I just saw
for time's sake, because that is a very good question.
So I want to give her. So couple ways to look at it. So some people subscribe to also a tribal designation. Some people don't. Some people want to include that in their name. But if you want to include it in your name, I'll give you an example. Let's just say.
All right, right here. Do I include Yasharala at the end of my first and middle name or at the end of my last name? It's a very good question. Shout out to J. Pina, member in the chat. I love you. All praise to the Most High.
Hallelujah. So as you see, my name is Shemaiah Samuel Yasharala. Yasharala is at the end. Now I had an option to include in the name tribal designation. So some people do. For example, some people might be named Yosef Ben Levi Ben Yasharala, or they could be Sarah Bat Levi Bat Yasharala, or it could be just Sarah
like I did,
but Bat Yasharala. You know, you can include your tribe in there also. So there's a few ways that you can designate yourself according to the Hebraic expression that we're speaking of.
Basically, kind of like I did. You know, my name is the real biblical name is Pincus, but I was already known for the name Phineas, so I just took on that name. So it's Phineas, my middle name Gad, out of the tribe of Gad, from the 12 tribes of Yasharala. So Phineas, Gad, Yasharala. I chose to do that to try to be close. I wanted to be as ancestral and biblical as possible. You know what I'm saying? But no matter what, Yasharala last name.
Absolutely.
And the next question that J. Pina had is it? I know you just went into it, but he was thinking about Johnny S. Pina Yasharala. What does the I guess that's maybe probably his middle name.
Okay. So
I don't know the root of Johnny Pina. That I would have to see like the I don't know if that's your government name or if that's the name that you took when you
Jay,
you was an Israelite.
Have him. They can inbox you, and if they want to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation, I don't have a problem with that.
Right at the hit that J. Pina, hit that website right there, www.kwamyasharala.com.
Yeah.
Right now. Oh, before I forget.
And my email too. My email, you can email me at what is malakshemaiah@gmail.com.
Or what's even better, J. Pina, if you haven't yet, make sure you guys subscribe to the new channel, Elder Malek's Corner. It's definitely going down. You can definitely drop, your information in the comments as this channel just took off, and started off, literally last week. Look forward to the next video coming up this Tuesday. The link and a post will be put in the community so that you guys can be able to hit that notification button. But subscribe to Elder's new channel. I want to say shout out to y'all, 161 views for the very first video to a very brand new channel. So that is because of your guys' support that's in the chat. And I definitely appreciate y'all, because without your guys' support, we're not able to push out this truth and information that we need for our nation as we are seeing things arise. So shout out to the chat,
That was a great start right there. First video. Woo.
Yeah. And I want the chat to spread out, each one teach one, each one spread one. Send the message out, bring them on in, And like his brother Zamaron the servant said, we're gonna be back on there Tuesday. We're gonna recap what we did last Tuesday, but we're gonna jump right into chapter 3 and chapter 4 of Genesis.
All praise the Most High. All praise the Most High. Earth Healing Angel said that the Genesis first lesson was amazing. Hopefully YouTube allows us to speak in the chat. Yo, but Auntie ain't lying. It's even on my video last night, my live last night. It seems like for the last week, I want to say 2 weeks, when we've been going, or 3 weeks, when we y'all forgive me. Right. When we have been going live, they've been blocking out certain comments in the chat from the chat, and it's crazy. And it's because of, guys, we're approaching what they will call, or not what they will call, what the Tanakh talks about is the famine of the word. So when you drop in too much heat and too much information, you know what I'm saying? That's just so true. Hey, keep in mind, these bots are still watching. You know what I'm saying? They got bots all over the place that are hired specifically to sit on the computer, right? And be specifically assigned to whoever's going live, whoever's, you know what I'm saying, making a video. They got thousands, millions, you know what I'm saying, mostly Asians that sit behind the computer desk and they basically, you know what I'm saying, moderate. So like, for instance, when I set up a live, y'all, right? They have, you know what I'm saying, YouTube has their own type of moderation when it comes to certain comments. There's nothing that we can do to control that. This happens to me sometimes when I go on other brothers' lives, like, you know what I'm saying, GOZ, you know what I'm saying, Joshua the Levite, you know what I'm saying, Judah Nazareth, you know what I'm saying, shout out to Torah Knights. But I'll comment certain things, you know what I'm saying, in there, and my stuff will be blocked too. So
wow.
You know,
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know they was
really.
doing that kind of stuff. That's wild. That's wild.
But other than that, y'all, I appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? This has been another episode, you know what I'm saying, of Let the Truth Be Told podcast. As you guys see, it's turning up. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, also hit that subscribe button, because it's turning up. The Most High is giving us signs. So I appreciate you guys. This is your brother Zam.
Real quick,
and Phineas. Phineas, lead us out, man.
Real quick, y'all. Y'all seen what's going on. I just want to push that hard line one more again. Understand me? Go and declare your nationality, man, of who you are before it's too late, y'all. Y'all cold, man. If y'all don't do nothing else, if y'all didn't take nothing else out of all these, how many episodes we in? If y'all didn't take nothing else out of all these episodes, man, go declare who you are. Put the name of salvation over you. It's just the same as, like Elder always says, is putting a blood post over your door. You dig what I'm saying? I'm telling you that, hey, time is running out. The time is here. The time is now. And you may not be able to get another chance to do it. I'm talking to each and every last one of y'all that's watching this right now. Don't sit there and shrub it off like or don't think it's not a big deal, or think, oh, I don't want, man, look at here, man. You've been black your whole life. You dig what I'm saying? You've been a slave since you came here. You might as well. You have the opportunity to go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you're not only just letting down yourself, you letting down your people that you say you love. You letting down the Most High who you say you follow. So I'm putting it out there straight like that. You know what I'm saying? Love me or hate me, man. This Let the Truth Be Told. So I'm going to give you the truth every time, man. Put the name of salvation over you. There's no more time to be falling down by the wayside. There's no more excuses. No more excuses. Get it done.
All praises. Hallelujah. Elder, end us out.
All praise. So look, let's go. We're going to do it like this. I'm going to paraphrase. You know, and you know, there's a scripture, and I believe it's about promotion coming from the Almighty. And if I'm not mistaken, and we can read it because it's not that much. Go to Psalms chapter 75.
Okay, Con. 1 second, real quick. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up Psalm 75, you said?
Yeah, Psalms chapter 75.
All right, Con. Let me share my screen. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 75. Where you want me to start at?
We're gonna read verse 1 through 7.
Okay, sounds good. This is Psalm chapter 75, verses 1 all the way through verse 7. And it says, to the chief musician, Altashith, a psalm or song of Asaph. Unto thee, O God, do we give thanks? Unto thee do we give thanks. For that thy name is near, thy wondrous works declare.
All right, he says that thy name is near and thy wondrous work declare. His name is near where? His name should be near in you. The great I am should be in you. as you give praise to the Most High Almighty Yahweh, power and strength. Keep going.
All praise to the Most High. Verse 2. When I shall receive the congregation, I will judge uprightly.
Mm-hmm.
The earth and all the inhabitants thereof are dissolved. I bear up the pillars of it. Salah.
All right, as we look at war, as we look at the powers that be to its climactic end of its leadership, they shall be dissolved so that the nation of Yasharallah will emerge once again as the administrative arm of the Most High Almighty Yahweh, our power and strength. Keep going.
Verse 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn.
The Almighty always warns the fool and those that deal foolishly and the wicked who deal in destruction. The warning is there, family. The warning is there. Keep going.
Verse 6.
Verse 5.
Verse 5, Salakia. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck.
Lift not your horn up on high, meaning that don't blow your own trumpet in regards to who you think you are and your arrogancy. We just got finished talking about the arrogancy of the United States that's embedded in its structure, that's being exposed. But in one moment, and in 1 hour, it'll be brought down low. Keep going.
Verse 6, the key. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge. He putteth down one, he setteth up another. Hallelujah.
All praise. So in the end, that means that as we look at the rise and fall of nations, know that the Almighty, the Most High, already know what's going on. It's already been planned out. It's already in motion. Just know that. So that you don't need to be afraid. You don't need to have fear. But your dedication should be to your power and strength, to your people as well. But in order to have your dedication to your power and strength and to your people, you have to know who you are.
That's right. That's right. So giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, him and him alone. Appreciate you. You guys catch us next week, you know what I'm saying, Sunday at the same time for another episode of Let the Truth Be Told podcast. I'm Zam, Shemaiah, and Phineas YG. We love y'all. Shout out to the chat. Make sure you guys, you know what I'm saying, take heed into what was brought out. And until then, have a blessed evening. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Hallelujah.
Let the truth be told.